Purple Haze by Jimi Hendrix starts off way up here. So we have our second finger on the second fret of D, that's the E, and then our first finger is on the first fret of A. So we're looking at an A sharp or a B flat right there. Creates a really funky sound. So we would call that E diminished. So diminished meaning with a flat 5. So E diminished. And then we come in with our fourth finger on the third fret of G. That's an octave. That B flat, A sharp, whatever you want to call it there. So you have, and then you release that and bring your fourth finger down. So E diminished, even though there's no third. So you're kind of bouncing back and forth between those two notes right there. The middle finger is static the whole time. All quarter notes. Now we get into the main theme. So we're in E, so we're going to go down here. Follow that pentatonic position, and you're going to slide in from 5 to 7 on D. And now we're going to grab 7 of G. So 7 and 9 on D, 7 on G. Now we're going to grab, with our second finger, 8 of B. Now that's that minor third. We always talk about the minor third in rock and roll and blues has a tendency to be bent up, and here you see another example of that. Now we're going to release that to the first finger on the 7th fret of the D with some vibrato. That's the next lick. So we're going to have first finger slides in to the 5th fret of D, open D, open A, and then first finger slides again, or third finger, whatever you like. I'll use first finger because it's going to set up the next part, to the 7th fret of the A. That's the E again. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and you'll hear it repeat, okay? So if you count in eighth notes, you'll get it. Okay, now we have the first alternate lick. So that's going to be an open A with a quick hammer on of the 5th fret of the A to the 7th fret of the A. Then we're going to go 5th fret of D, 7th fret of D. And then bend down on that 7th fret of D. Back to the 5th fret of D. So that lick, that's the first part of it, just fast. Just like we learned in Joker and the Thief. Right? It's the same concept, just fast. Now we're going to go 5 of D, 7 of D. Bend, vibrato. Okay, so now we have that first finger's already in place. We're going to hit that note again, then hit an open A, hit an open E, and then with your thumb, this is really weird, but with your thumb, grab the 3rd fret of the E. Now you could go with your first finger, but I'm pretty sure Hendrix would use his thumb here. Okay, so all together you'd have. And now the next lick, that's open A, slide to 9, A, slide to 7 of A, grab 5 of D, bend, and then hammer on 5 to 7. And that's going to be 5 to open D. So that phrase again. Sorry, one more time. going back to that pentatonic shape. So that's going to be 7, slide to 9 of D. Then 7 of G. Twice, and then on the third time we do the hammer on to 9. Okay, so that whole phrase again is going to be and there's a slide at the end, so you're going to grab the 12th fret of the E and slide back, and that'll take us into the verse. So you can review all that. Take your time when you're learning these kind of complex note patterns. It's a lot to digest at first. So just focus on one riff, and then the second, and then the third, and then the fourth. Don't try and do everything at once. So just keep reviewing the video until you got that beginning content right there. You can check your notes, and then we'll move on to the verse next. All right, now the verse sequence starts with a chord that looks like that. It's called E7 sharp 9, also known as the Jimi Hendrix chord or the Hendrix chord. And what it is a modification of what we would call an E9. So it's a root, a third, a flat 7, and then if this is the 9, because this is the note F sharp, we raise it up to a G, which is weird because you have the major third and the minor third within the same chord. Somehow he makes it work, right? So that's the grip. And then you're going to go to a G, just like we learned way back with Californication, where we went to the F, and we've used this grip in Be My Girl. So we have a G to an A. Okay, now the rhythm of that's going to be open E string, 1 and 2, 3 and 4. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3, and now at the end we're going to go. So that's going to be third finger pulling off 7th fret of E, and then jumping to 3rd fret of E. So 4E, and put that together. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4E, and a little slower. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and so you can kind of modify that strumming between the G and the A. It's Hendrix, so it's never going to sound the same twice, at least when he played it. So you do 2 quarter note strums on G, or just 1, 2, and 2 quarter note strums on A, whichever you prefer. Okay, so that'll get you through the verse. Now, the one thing you want to try doing is adding some vibrato on that E7 sharp 9. Sounds pretty funky if you do that. So 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and... Okay, so let's pause there, and then we'll take a look at the closing of the verse next. So out of the solo, you have the main theme again, but there's some variations at the end of it. So you'd have, like we've already discussed, twice. Now, we're going to shift up towards the headstock, and we're playing in E minor pentatonic, position number 1. That's the first lick. Okay, this is a real burner here. This is tough to bend this note. It's great muscle development. So you're going to hit open D, then we're going to slide from 1 into 2. Grab the open G, and then we're going to go. We're going to bend that 2nd fret of G twice with our 2nd finger. Then the second lick comes in, which is open D, slide, open G, bend, then pick, 2nd fret G, open G. Then we go back to the main theme again. slide into our verse. And you play the verse and the ending the same. Then you'll hear a tag at the end of the song, which is going to start in this open A position. So we're going to go 1 and 2 and jumps down, right? So you have 1 and 2 and then we're going to jump to that E position again, just like we did at the end of the verse. Then we're going to go to a B chord up here. To a D chord. And then you see we're going to go all the way up to E minor, pentatonic position number 1 on the 12th fret. Okay, so that's going to be 12, 14, 15. 14 of G, 12 of G, and then the ending, which is going to be the 15th fret of B bent up. And we're going to hold that note and we're going to pick. So you can see my right hand just kind of picking down and up. And then he releases the bend as he continues to pick. So you're just bringing that bend up and down if you can control it. And he goes a little higher. And that's the end of the song. So let me regroup and play that ending again from the A. 1 and 2 and B, D, and there you have it. Look for that solo in the next video.